If you're in need of a scholarship that will provide you with medical aid, laptop, monthly stipend and meal allowance, housing, and so much more, then you should be staying tuned till the end of this video, because in this video we're going to talk about a scholarship that will provide you with all these and more. Hello everyone, you're welcome to another scholarship breakdown video, and today we are currently going to talk about the MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program in partnership with the University of Western Cape. They have a lot to offer and you cannot afford to miss this scholarship for anything. And if you know someone who is in need of such a scholarship too, make sure that at the end of this video, after you get the information, you send the link to them so that they can also watch and stay abreast with whatever information they need to stay abreast with. In this video, we will be talking about how to apply and the eligibility criteria and every single thing you need to know about this scholarship. Please take note that the link for applying for this scholarship is in the description box, and for that matter, any other scholarship application or scholarship opportunity that is provided on this channel will be left in the description box. I mean, the link for those scholarships will be left in the description box, so do well to check it, as that is the first thing you would see when you open the description box. Thank you so much. Let's get started. So we all know about the MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program. If you do not know about it, you can do well to check their page and learn more about what the MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program is all about. So in this time round, the MasterCard Foundation is partnering with the University of Western Cape. Over the years, the MasterCard Foundation has partnered with a lot of universities all around Africa and beyond. So this is one of the kind. So you have to apply for the MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program at the University of Western Cape for the 2026 academic year. So the MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program is specifically targeted towards young people whose access to higher education is impeded by economic and social barriers. The program places a particular emphasis on reaching young women, refugees, and forcibly displaced youth and persons with disabilities who are encouraged to apply. The MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program at the University of the Western Cape supports academically talented youth from South Africa and other parts of the African continent. The aim of the program is to equip youth with the necessary tools and education to drive transformation change, which will positively impact their communities and countries. For the 2026 academic year, the MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program at the University of the Western Cape will provide fully funded opportunities for young scholars to study for undergraduate qualification or master's degree qualification. So this scholarship is open for both undergraduate and master's degree qualification. And just like how MasterCard collaborated with KNUST and the other universities, if you want to get this scholarship, you must make sure that you're applying to the university in question. For instance, if you want to get this scholarship, this particular one, then it means that your applications should be to the University of the Western Cape. Yeah, so if you're not willing to travel to the University of the Western Cape, then this scholarship is not for you. But it's worth taking this opportunity. So the applications are restricted to some specific fields of study. So there are specific fields of study for the postgraduate qualification and for the undergraduate qualification. So let's start with the undergraduate qualification. So for the undergraduate qualification, these are the programs that if you apply for, you will get the scholarship. Any program or discipline apart from this will not be considered for the scholarship. So namely, we have arts and humanities, economic and management sciences, education, natural sciences, and that's for the undergraduate qualification. Now for the postgraduate qualification, we have arts and humanities, community and health sciences, economic management sciences, law, natural sciences, and you can see all the sub courses under the main programs which have been listed. Now, let's get into the eligibility criteria. At the time of application, an applicant must satisfy the following 5 criteria. So, for the undergraduate studies, the person must be no older than 26 years for the undergraduate studies, and the person must meet the university minimum admissions requirement. So, for program or discipline specific information, you must visit www.uwc.ac.za. So, this link will send you to a page where you would see the minimum admission requirements for each and every program under which this scholarship will be given to. Now, the person must have applied for academic admission to the university for 2026. Now, the international applicants must apply for exemption through University South Africa to determine if they meet South Africa's minimum higher education admission requirements. So if you're an international applicant, you must make sure that you applied for exemption, right? Now, how do you do that? You need to do that through the University South Africa. Now, if you do that and you are granted the exemption, then you qualify for this particular scholarship. So if you want an exemption application and additional information about this entire exemption thing, then you visit the link over there. So you click on the link and go through it. Before we end this video, we will explore that page to see what you need to get the exemption to study at the South African University. Now, you need to be prepared to register for full-time undergraduate study in January 2026, and you must provide evidence that access to university studies is impeded by social and economic barriers. So you need to prove that you need a scholarship and all that. So for the master's degree studies, you must be no older than 30 years for the master's degree studies, and you must also meet the university's minimum admissions requirements. Then for international applicants too, you must ensure that your qualification meets the South African Qualification Authority. Now, you must also be prepared to begin first year of registration for full-time master's degree study in January 2026. Provide evidence that access to university studies is impeded by social and economic barriers. Now, a candidate who intends to register for a second undergraduate or master's degree is ineligible to apply for the MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program. So if you are going to apply for the University of the Western Cape, and also apply for the MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program, you must make sure that this is your first time going to learn as an undergraduate student or a master's degree student. Now let's go into the application process. So once you have successfully submitted your application to study at the University of Western Cape, then you apply to the MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program by completing the online application available via this link. Now, you need the following documents to process your application. So let's see the documents required. Now, make sure that all your documents should be in English. So you need one, the proof of parental income. So even before you click on the link and begin the process of application and all that, just make sure that you get these documents, right? Great. So you need a proof of parental income. Example, pay slips, social grants letters, letters from the Financial Aid Office if previously funded by NSFAS. And if no proof of income is available, or if unemployed, a letter of unemployment from the Department of Labor must be provided, and a copy of refugee or internally displaced documentation, where applicable, is also required. Should you experience challenges in submitting your application, you may email these emails for assistance. So if it's for postgraduate application, that's the email. If it's for undergraduate applicants too, that's the email you need to submit your messages to. Now, there are 6 main sections that will that will need to be completed in the application form. The first is personal information, second is academic information, third is family information, short narratives, those are the essays, community engagement, and certification. Now, the closing date for the application is Sunday, 31st August 2025. Now, due to the large volumes of applications received, they are able to give personal feedback to applicants. So if you do not hear from the university by mid-December, then you consider your application unsuccessful. Now, applicants are strongly advised to submit only one complete application. Incomplete and duplicate applications will be rejected. So, general conditions of award. In addition to providing scholarship for tuition fees, in addition to providing support for tuition fees, the MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program at UWC provides a range of specialized resources to support MasterCard Foundation scholars to facilitate their transition into dignified and fulfilling work. In particular, MasterCard Foundation scholars will be provided with pre-arrival support and an official onboarding welcome program. 2 is housing in a UWC residence on campus, personalized support throughout their studies, ensuring that every MasterCard Foundation scholar has the best possible experience at UWC. You would also receive a monthly stipend and meal allowance, a medical aid, laptop, study material allowance, and holistic wraparound support programs. The MasterCard Foundation scholars are required to sign a scholarship agreement once they are accepted and enrolled onto the MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program at UWC. MasterCard Foundation scholars are expected to meet the required academic standards of the university to retain their scholarships. The MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program at UWC provides support to the MasterCard Foundation scholars for the duration of their registered qualification of the university. Now, the MasterCard Foundation scholars are also expected to comply with the rules and regulations of the University of Western Cape as stipulated in the university calendar. So now we have information on the entire scholarship program. How exactly do we apply? So I'm going to take you through the step-by-step approach. So first of all, you need to just locate the third point in the information provided about the scholarship application program. So the first thing we're going to do is just click here. And then you can see the steps, right, required in applying for the MasterCard Foundation program. Remember we said that if you're an international student, then you must apply for exemption. So you can do that before you come here, right? Great. There was a link there that you can use to apply for exemption and also check if you qualify for the program you'd want to study and all that. So let's say you are done with all that and you really want to apply for the scholarship. First of all, you must first of all apply to the University of the Western Cape. So how do you do that? You just click on this link, right? And remember the link was in the third point as far as the application process is concerned on that particular page. Yeah. So when you click, you'll see apply here. Now we have apply for 2026 admission and apply for residence. If you click here, there's more info here. So let's click on the apply for 2026 admission. Now, if you click here, you would see new application and edit application, but there is an information here that undergraduate application for 2026 will close on the 30th September 2025, and selected postgraduate programs will close earlier. So you need to see the website for more details. Now, no application fee is payable. If you are under 18 at the time of application, you must submit a signed consent form. For all other applicants, this is not necessary. If you do not have the consent form, it will be emailed to you on completion of the application. So if you are applying for the first time, click here. If you are returning to complete or correct your application, click here. So say I'm applying for the first time. I can click here. So you need to accept these terms and conditions. So say I accept terms. Now, there are 10 sections to complete depending on the option selected. The star next to a field denotes mandatory information. Now, only applications that have accepted the terms and conditions of the University Western Cape will be valid. So you need to make sure that you accept the terms and conditions. So your surname, first name, email address, confirmation email, whether you've studied there before. I don't want to jam up their system, so I'm not going to apply. Then you do all that. Now, if you have studied in UWC before, then you need to enter your student's number and then submit. So it will send you through other processes. Right after that, so after you are done with the application, then you come and click here to apply for the MasterCard Foundation Program at the UWC. So when you click on this link, you'll see all the necessary information here. And after that, you must show that you have thoroughly read the information. It's quite similar to the one that we read on the other page. So then you click next. Now, when you click next, you'll be given some questions to answer. Now, all these questions are to guide your application. So all you have to do is just keep clicking next, 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 and till the end. So actually, if you do not know where I clicked, this is where I clicked. Right under the call for application, there's 1.1 undergraduate qualification. Under that, you'll see this box that says, click here to apply for the MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program at UWC. So that's how you go about it. Yeah, so you remember that we said for the international students, you have to apply for exemption, and it's looked like a new term. And I promise that before we end this video, we will talk about that. So this is where it is. It's right under the eligibility criteria. So under the main topics, you just click on the eligibility criteria part, and then you will get to the place which talks about the international applicants. So that's 2.1.3. It states once again that international applicants must apply for exemption through University South Africa to determine if they meet South Africa's minimum higher education admission requirements. So for exemption applications and additional information, you visit this particular link. So there's no harm in checking what's there for us. So let's just click on it and see the additional information and what the entire exemption concept is about. So let's click on the link and see where it takes us. So guys, this is the higher education support. We are currently on the page, right? We are currently on the page. And I think because of my network, some of the pictures that are supposed to be here are still not loading. Anyways, so the first thing I see here is higher education support facilitating entry to South African universities. So we presume that this page is going to give us more insight on how to enter South African universities as an international student. So University South Africa oversees support for learners who aim at studying at a South African university. It manages metric exemptions, right? So the University South Africa is what oversees the support for learners who aim at studying at South Africa universities. I don't think this is I have to explain this, right? It's self-explanatory. So South African learners, the matriculation board works primarily with learners who did not achieve a matriculation exemption. Now, for foreign students, the matriculation board will help you access your current qualifications to determine if they are suitable for South African universities, and if not, how to get about the correct exemption, right? So it's like this. The South African universities, that's the organization, or let me say the board, has a matriculation board, right? And what they do is they will help you assess whether your current qualifications are suitable for admission to any South African university. So in regards to the University of the Western Cape, this platform is going to help you assess whether you are eligible for the courses you want to study, or whether you are eligible to gain admission into the University of Western Cape. since that's the university in question, right? So if you do not qualify, this will also help you get the correct exemption. So if you have any concerns about your matriculation exemption or need to find out how to get an exemption, then you visit the matriculation board website. So let's visit the matriculation board website. I'm now confused. Should we do frequently asked questions or let's view the matriculation board? Oh, okay. So let's look at the frequently asked questions and satisfy our curiosity before we move on. So what is a matriculation exemption? A matriculation exemption is a legal requirement for first degree study at a South African university. Wow. So by law, students who did not pass their pre-2008 senior certificate with exemption need to apply for one through the matriculation board. Students holding international qualifications and wishing to register for first degree studies, this is for our international students in South Africa, must have their school qualifications evaluated by the matriculation board. The board will then issue a certificate of exemption to those who qualify. Right now, note that students must also comply with the faculty requirements to ensure admission. An exemption certificate does not guarantee admission, right? So after you get your admission and all that, you need to make sure that you comply with the faculty requirements to ensure admission. So the fact that you have the exemption certificate after everything doesn't mean that you are going to get admitted at any of the universities. So what documents are required for an exemption application? One, you need your ID, you need your passport, you need your birth certificate, you need your refugee status, marriage certificate if applicable, and divorce decree if applicable, and school qualifications, so maybe school leaving certificates, any post-school qualifications, M30 application form. It does not have to be certified, and proof of payment, it does not have to be certified. Now, where can I have my documents certified? So these are where you can have your documents certified. So the proof of payments and the M30 application form does not have to be certified. All other supporting documents need to be certified as follows: the admissions office of the university where you plan to register, a notary public, the South African embassy or high commission in a foreign country, and an admitted advocate or attorney. So if you have any document that needs to be certified, you can go to the South African embassy or high commission in your country. That's if you're a foreigner, and you get your supporting documents certified. So the ID, passport, school qualification, and all that must be certified. So how do I apply for an exemption certificate? So there are alternative ways in which you can apply for an exemption certificate. The first option is online via this link. It's online via the link there. And for your application to be, so you fill out the M30 application form that you may download there. And then for your application to be fully processed, you submit proof of payment, ID, passport or birth certificate, marriage certificate, what, and blah, blah, blah. And these must be correctly certified. And we previously looked at how to get their certifications, right? Yes. So the second option is to visit the matriculation board premises located at the University South Africa. That's the, this is the location, right? Yeah, so as a third option, you may courier correctly certified documents to the matriculation board. I think the most convenient one will be applying for it online, right? But we can go on and on and on and on, and that's that. So what types of exemption certificates can I obtain? So there are several types of exemption certificates issued depending on the qualification of the applicants. Examples are complete exemption certificates and conditional exemption certificates. So the complete exemption certificates are certificates that do not have expiry dates but take effect on a date that is dependent on the qualification based on which it is awarded. So that's that. And there's the conditional exemption certificate. So mature entry certificate offered to 23 years old students, and it's valid for 5 years and can be renewed. So all these are there, and so many other questions. Yeah, so we can go on and on and on, but I think I've led you to the right spot where you can go ahead and apply for exemption, read more about the exemptions and all that. So I did as I promised, guys. Once again, make sure you first of all apply to UWC, and then secondly, you come and apply for the MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program. Thank you all for staying tuned. I hope this was very helpful to you. And yes, from the beginning to the end of this video, you will get all the insights required. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments section and we'll try our best to answer it to your satisfaction. Thank you guys so much again. See you next time.